Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting, and welcome to the channel today. It's good to have you. And to all of our subscribers, welcome back. Appreciate you being here. And for you folks that are new to the channel, if you're finding us for the first time, appreciate you being here. Please hit that subscribe button. And to all watching, if you find the content beneficial, please hit that like button as well. Now, to learn more about me, learn more about my company, and what we do and how we can help take your business to that next level, please check out the links below. Now, our topic for you today, it's what are the biggest challenges to starting a new gym? What are the biggest challenges? And I would even say on this, not just starting a new gym, but maybe you've acquired a new gym. Or for that matter, maybe you've had one for a while and maybe it's a little bumpy. Maybe you can look at some of these and say, well, hey, yeah, those are some challenges and maybe we should, get those addressed. Or if you're in a situation where your club has been shuttered and now you're getting back open, or you've been online, you're getting back in action, these might be some good things, to look at as well. Now, let's get into this, and I've got 11 things here we can look at. Number one is shortage of capital and cash flow. And this is a big one, that we see pretty frequently with folks is, we always need to be looking for money. Being undercapitalized, you don't want to find yourself in a position where you're really choking this thing off. Okay, always be looking for money. And with that said, check out the links below. If you're one of those folks that's looking for funding, check out the gym funding link below, where you could potentially qualify for up to $250,000 in funding with no collateral. That might be a good place to start, for some folks. But always be looking, either it be debt, whether it be equity, whatever it might be, always be looking. On the cash flow part of this, and we're kind of talking about new gyms here, but this could apply to a lot of areas. With new operations, one of the things that we like to do is, do a 90-day pre-sales. And then when you negotiate your lease, we like to see 90 days abated rent, there at the front of that. That gives you a full 6 months of selling with no rent, kind of high-powered selling. And what we're trying to do is, it's kind of a race. We want to get those recurring dues, by the time we hit maturity, which I call maturity for the sake of this conversation, maybe it's 12 months in business, is once we've been open for 12 months, I want my recurring dues to be at least 80% of my base operating expense. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do there. And the way I help to mitigate that is, 90-day pre-sales, 90 days of abated rent once I get in. And so I'm really pushing that marketing. So shortage of capital and cash flow are a couple big things right there. Number two, having a good business plan. And on your business plan, I'm going to get into how we do it here in a second, but what you want to do, if you have a business plan already, make sure every single day we are working on key objectives of that business plan. Too many folks, if they do have a business plan, they take it, they file it away, it never gets used again, doesn't even get looked at. Okay? If it's a legitimate business plan, be working your key objectives every day. Now, one of the things that we do for our clients when they're looking for this is we help prepare these business plans in a collaborative manner. The reason we do it, it saves an awful lot of money, if you're one of those folks. But even more than that is you get not only the business plan, but you get a high-level education on this. I get too many folks that have a business plan, and yeah, they can look at it and they can memorize it, but they don't necessarily know why. And so what we attempt to do on the business plan collaborative method is to really educate you at a high level on this, so you know not only how to do it, but why you're doing it and what are other options. Okay, so have a good business plan, work those key objectives every day. Number three, coming up with a great product or service. And here's what I mean, is when I say great product or service, what are you bringing to your community, to your market area that nobody else is doing? What are you doing that no one else is doing? What's your differentiation? Because if the customer perceives you just like everybody else, it's going to come down to price. And you want it to come down to value. You don't want it to come down to price. Okay, and even considering, marketing to an uncontested market space. In many areas, you're going to attract about 20% of a local audience would be expected to be a member of a gym. There's 80% of the folks out there that aren't. Okay, you want to have a great product, a great service. What if you had programming in classes for folks that have never worked out before, and that's who you're marketing to? Folks that haven't worked out in a year, folks that need to lose at least 25 pounds. And creating an environment and a culture whereby they feel comfortable coming in. Those kind of things can work for you. We've had a lot of success with that in a lot of clubs. Number 4, sticking to it. You got to stick to it. Okay, you got to stay after it. And typically we think, oh, I'm struggling. Hey, gotta hang in there. Yes, you do. Okay, but also if you're having success, one of the common things that I see is something that I call success apathy. And what I mean by that is just because we had success in the past doesn't mean we're going to have success in the future. Okay, don't let complacency, be the death of you here. Okay, stay after it, stick with it, keep doing the fundamentals every day. Okay, stick with it. Number 5, working more than you expected. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple thoughts on this. There's a lot of folks that, hey, it is what you expected. I love it. I know when I was, building clubs and developing clubs, I was 24/7. I was nonstop. It just didn't matter. That's what I loved to do, and I was going to do it for as long as I could. And the thing you want to remember here, if you're one of those kind of folks, make sure that you learn to protect your number one asset. That number one asset's you. Okay? So even though this is what you like to do and you push yourself, and those are some great things, make sure you're still protecting your number one asset. Still working out, still getting plenty of rest, all the things that go as part of that. Protect your number one asset if you're working a lot. On the other side of that, if you're working more than you expected, and it's a little bit different reasons, okay, learn to delegate. If somebody else can do this, delegate it. If somebody else can do this, delegate it. Okay, there's a host of great reasons why that's a good idea, but one of them is you don't have to work as much because you can delegate it. Number 2, automate as much as you can. How can you utilize technology to automate these repeated tasks? Blast emails. I was talking to someone today. They're still sending out just incremental emails. Get yourself an email platform and, blast that thing out. Okay, same with text messaging, new member welcome emails. So there's a host of things here. So automate all of this. Okay, and then also protect your number one investment. Number 6, getting through the frustrations of being constantly rejected by customers. If you're closing 50%, you're going to get rejected by the other half, right? Okay. Here's the message I would give you here. Okay. How do we change this? Okay. Number 1, you won't sign up everybody. No one does that. But when someone doesn't join, the way I like to look at it is if someone doesn't buy, really what they're saying is, based on what you want to charge me, I don't think it's worth it. Based on what you want to charge me, I don't think it's worth it. And so what they're saying is, in a sense, is I didn't provide enough value. Okay? I didn't solve their problem. I didn't give a solution. So what I would have you do here, if you're getting frustrated with some rejection, really stay focused on solving problems, stay focused on providing solutions, providing value, have enthusiasm, have passion, have belief, have conviction, because all of this we hope is going to be a transfer, to the customer. Number 7 on biggest challenges is hiring good employees. Okay? And some simple tips here on this. This is a challenging thing, particularly if you're a one-club operation. First of all, don't be hiring people when you need them. Okay? You want to get a plan of action together to be always looking, always recruiting. And I would even suggest everything you attract, get an email database and create an entire database, for their whole recruiting thing. Okay? But a few things to think about here on hiring good employees. First of all, if I'm running ads, one of the things that I include in those ads is, no matter what position it is, send over a 30-second video on why you feel like you're the best person for this job. You'll start to weed a lot of people out, okay, because you don't want to get interview fatigue here. You'll start to weed out folks. Some folks just don't want to do it. Maybe they're lazy, maybe they don't care. You'll find some folks, well, hey, can we just do a Zoom call? instead of me doing the video? Well, probably not, because we asked for the video. We're looking for someone who can follow directions, okay? So we're gonna add that in, and then now if they do send the video over, they pass. It looks good, okay? Send over a sales philosophy test, a gym, a fitness industry sales philosophy test, okay? Happy to send one to you. Email me direct. Email me at jthomas@fmconsulting.net. Happy to send it to you. No cost, no charge, no strings attached. Okay. And so if they send over the video, that's good. Now have them take the test. Are they too weak in sales? Are they too heavy-handed? You can start to kind of vet out some of this and see if this person is a fit for your culture. The next thing I would do on this hiring is when you come in to interview them, role play with them. Role play their current job. And say they've been at their job at 6 months. You be the customer, they can be them, okay? And let's see where they're at. This is probably where they're going to be for you in 6 months. Do they struggle? Do they stumble? Are they not sure of themselves? Might be a red flag, okay? And then lastly on this, on hiring good employees, have other staff members interview. Ask other people to interview. Get different perspectives. They may see something you don't, good or bad. Okay, so have a real strategy on hiring employees and how you want to do this, and of course you want to have good quality comp plans and things of that nature. Now, number 8 is knowing when to fire bad employees. This is a hard one for a lot of folks, and I wouldn't expect it to be easy. I don't want firing people to be easy. Okay, otherwise it's too easy to do, right? And there's an obligation we have here to these folks, in my opinion. And so when it comes to firing folks, I'll never forget, I got picked up at the airport one time, and we were doing a seminar. I think it was up in Chicago, and got picked up at the airport late in the evening. And one of the partners, he asked me, he goes, "Jim, how do you know when to fire somebody?" And I said to him, I said, "Look, here's how I look at this. Our obligation is to give 100% of our efforts to make somebody as good as they can be. Our job is to give 100% of our efforts to make someone as good as they can be. The moment we cannot give 100% to that person, that's when it's time to fire them." I've had plenty of folks that struggled, didn't do as well as they thought they would, didn't do as well as I thought they would, but I really liked them, really believed in them. And I was still willing to give 100%. Heck, I can remember one time we had someone come in and goes, "Jim, I just don't think it's going to work for me. I want to give my 2-week notice." And I said, "Sorry, I haven't given up on you. I think you can do this. I don't accept your 2-week notice." And of course, he's looking at me, "What are you talking about?" And he eventually stayed, ended up being in the industry for 10, 15 years, and did a great job. Okay, I just wasn't willing to give up on him because I really saw the potential. There's other folks that might have lots of talent, but they don't do a lot of things. They show up late. They don't do their paperwork right, and it's hard to give 100% to them. And when that happens, that's when it's time to let them go. Okay. Number 9, having to wear so many hats. You're going to wear a lot of hats. And so some things to think about here. I give an owner really 2 jobs, primarily. I know there's a million things. I mean, you're a construction person one minute, a psychology person the next, an accounting person the next, salesperson the next. You wear a lot of hats, but I give an owner 2 primary jobs. Number 1, make sure everyone is paid on time as agreed. I think we all know that one, okay? But the second one is make sure your company is driving prospects and driving foot traffic into that front door. What I like to look at, half your time as an owner should be spent planning, thinking, and implementing sales and marketing programs. We've got to drive traffic. And then look to start delegating other things. But we want to be, implementing and thinking and preparing sales and marketing programs. We want to be driving traffic. Okay, we want the door to swing, we want the phone to ring, the email to ding, and the text to ping. Okay. Number 10, managing your time. Okay. The thing about managing time, we all have the same amount. Nobody has any advantage. First of all, know what your priorities are. Make sure people are getting paid, like I just mentioned. Make sure we're driving traffic. Make sure you're delegating. Make sure you're automating where you can. Manage your time. Okay. And then finally, number 11, maintaining some kind of work-life balance. Maintaining some kind of a work-life balance. This is a challenge. And I'm going to go back to what I was talking about earlier. The thing that I want you to really be mindful of is protect your most valuable asset. It's you. Protect your most valuable asset. Eat right, exercise, get plenty of rest. This stuff's not going anywhere. It'll be there tomorrow. Okay, but also learn to delegate, learn to train. Get good partners. Find folks. Things that I talk to people about that bring me on board is one of my goals is I want that trusted partner relationship. Surround yourself with folks that have been there, that know how to do it, and whether it be on consultants or attorneys or accountants or even softwares and insurance folks. Okay, learn to trust those folks and depend on them. So 11 tips, 11 thoughts on biggest challenges to starting a new gym business. So if you're thinking about getting into it, take a look at it. If you already have, where are you at with it? If you're thinking of buying one, take a look. If you've been running one for a while, how does this stack up with what you're doing? Okay, folks, my name is Jim Thomas. My company is Fitness Management and Consulting. Again, you can learn more about me in the links below, and look forward to seeing you all in that next video.